The thing about being a chef is, like, you never know it all. And, like, even though I get loads of inspiration from going down the markets, you know, seeing what's in season and reading books and talking to people, I actually get loads of inspiration from other chefs as well.
Make sure that the vegetables is not hard, yeah? I don't want the vegetables hard, right, yeah?
My mate Richard Corrigan is a really big character. He's an Irishman and he runs a fantastic place called Lindsay House in the middle of Soho. In the kitchen, he runs a really tight ship, but don't get me wrong, he's a big softie, I reckon, at heart. And the food that he loves more than anything is real kind of granny-fied mother's home cooking. And he loves to champion the best of British and Irish produce. All right, boys. Have you seen the boss?
It's in the fridge, got upset. Well, Chef, not yet.
Hello, Chef.
Hiya, Jim.
How you doing, mate?
Good to see you, Jimmy.
What you got there?
Oh, this is some very nice pork, you know.
Beautiful, look at that.
Well, let's cut a little bit of pork for this evening, huh?
Yeah, lovely.
Okay, so let's cut it up. I think
It's the ribs, yeah?
Yeah, enough between a few guys, huh?
Yeah. More than enough, mate. That'd be beautiful.
Just give it a bit of a wrap up.
They're lovely.
Okay, here.
Sorry.
Take that.
Yeah.
Grab a pot. I'll get changed.
What do you want this pot for?
Oh, that's for the champ, huh?
Superb, mate. All right, mate. And I've got a helmet for you as well.
Excellent.
Right, my old mate. So what are you going to cook first, then?
I brought some little bits of pork in with me today.
Where does this pork come from?
It's a guy called Richard Vaughan up in Hereford.
Right.
And he's kind of a retired stockbroker come pig farmer these days.
As you do.
Well, he's a great spokesman kind of for the British pig industry in general.
Yeah.
And kind of this is the caviar of pork, and it's not a cliche.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's an English breed of pig. It's called the Middle White.
Yeah. You can see that fat, though, didn't you?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Let's take a couple of lovely chops off this rack from Richard Vaughan.
Look at those chops.
Yeah, they're wonderful. So basically, we have the two lovely cutlets there. Yeah. I mean, really, really lovely. I'm just going to do a little trick, really.
Right.
Which we're going to take some sage. What we're going to do is just put them in there.
And you just press it into the meat?
Yeah, press it into the meat.
So I guess
you don't need too much, but it's just delicious like this, you know, really.
Direct herb flavour onto the meat.
Absolutely, yeah. Sage is a very coarse herb. So, you know, you need to be, you know, one side is plenty.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a small bit of oil on the pan. Not too much, because it's quite fatty. You know, so...
Just to get it going.
Yeah, just to get it going. So, pork in. So basically, I've just got a small bit of seasoning on the other side.
Right.
Not too much. Okay.
It smells great already.
Yeah.
So I get the idea. It's like just really, really like careful cooking, but like not covering up with loads of different ingredients. Just let when you got a bit of pork like that, I guess you don't want to mask it with loads of sauce.
Absolutely. I've spent 22 years kind of, you know what I mean, adding on. Now I'm spending the rest of my life taking things away. So, you know, we're just going to turn it ever so. See the sage just in there.
Fantastic.
So we're just going to give it a little bit of colour on the other side as well. There's always a temptation for a lot of kind of chefs to give it a lot of heat, and I would just say take it easy, be gentle. You know, you're cooking your lunch, shouldn't be too rushed. This pork is just the respect you must give it, and that's what has been shown to the animal by Richard Vaughan. You know, I think you should just carry on from the
right,
you know, the farmer to the cook to the customer. It's about respect, really.
Absolutely.
It really is about respect.
So I guess all your waiters in the restaurant sort of like can talk to the customers about where it comes from and all that sort of.
Oh yeah, and I would expect it of them as well.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put this in the oven for around 6 to 8 minutes. You know.
And how hot's the oven?
220.
Great. So can I come and do my champion?
Yeah, please do.
Oh, a bit. Well, you can have a nice sip on your drink. And I am going to attempt to do, because I was flicking through your book when I thought, right, I'm going to cook up with Richard Corrigan. I was flicking through it, and a dish that really came out to me was champ.
Yeah.
Which, explain champ to me, because I'm a bit of a tourist on this dish, really.
Well, champ is I mean, Ireland, you know what I mean? You think Ireland, you think potatoes, you think stout, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, champ is a dish from the north of Ireland, Ulster.
Yeah.
Which is basically spring onions, or scallions.
Yeah.
And kind of a unrefined mash.
So it's basically like the ultimate mash, really, if you're Irish.
Well, I honestly think it's the ultimate mash if you're anybody, but you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm slightly concerned over what you're going to do for me.
Yeah, and I'm slightly nervous. Thank you very much. Right, okay. So basically what's going to happen is I kind of know what I'm doing, but I've got a feeling that you might have a few pennies to put in when I'm doing it. So
I'll stand back. I'll give you some room.
Yeah. So I'm going to drain these spuds.
Yeah.
I've cooked them for about sort of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just so that sort of you put your knife through them.
Yeah.
And they're sort of nice and soft, or cooked basically. A little salted water. I tried to make this the other day and it turned out fantastically. But I mean, I'm sure it was good. But like with regards to being as good as your mother's, now I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
I'm going to mash the potatoes. I know you're a man that likes sort of handheld and sort of touching the food.
Absolutely.
So
that, you know,
I'm not going to bring out any like clever moolies or rices or anything.
You have to remember, potatoes, starch, you know what I mean? If you work starch, it becomes,
glue.
You know what I mean, gluey. So, you know what I mean, hand mash them. And if there's a few lumps in there, don't worry about it. You know, we don't want it to be baby food.
Okay. What is this pot?
It's basically a cast iron pot, you know what I mean, which was quite traditional in the old Irish houses, you know.
Right.
Because before the kind of the fireplaces.
It's almost like a cauldron.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do remember my great auntie cooking bread inside one of these.
Really?
Yeah, a larger one, which would get the coals of the fire. They would break up all the coals, put them on the hearth, basically. They'd get the cast iron pot. They'd make the bread inside the cast iron pot and the lid on, and more coal sprinkled over, so they use it as an oven. Long before your fan assisted, you know, we had...
Long before I was born. So I'm going to put about a cup of milk.
I think around a cup. Yeah,
That's good?
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of knob of butter at this point?
Yeah.
So spring onions are pretty important in this dish, aren't they?
Yeah, spring onions, scallions, yeah.
And last time I did it, right, and it was very nice, right, I finely sliced it and put it in the mash at the last minute. But having looked at your book again, like, basically... You don't do that, do you? It's
I would say leave it in nice pieces.
Okay. So if I finally slice...
Yeah.
How fine? About that
Yeah,
fine?
a little bit more. Come on, a little bit more.
Thicker?
Yeah.
So it's actually quite rustic.
Yeah. Now you can do the bottom ones a little finer because they're much stronger. It's much more of an oniony flavour for them. I mean, you want to cook them out a little bit. That's fine. Just get all that now.
So the white bit in first?
White bit in first.
Okay. And just let that just sit for a bit.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And then this, maybe
just
these
leave
bits
that,
as well.
a little bit more in there.
So these green bits...
Yeah. Just hold them aside. Keep them back.
So you give that, what, a minute?
Around a minute, no more. You just want to soften it because it is strong, the base of that.
Right, so I can pop the green stuff
Pop the greens in there.
And would you say, carry on simmering it, or just...
No, I would just take it off the heat now because what you want to retain a certain amount of colour in the green, the onion as well. Yeah, a little bit of freshness.
So
otherwise it becomes all softened and...
Yeah. So you've got butter, you've got milk, you've got the onions, you've got the lovely mash.
Absolutely.
And literally add the lot in there and just stir it through. Shall I change to a spoon on this now?
Yeah, you need it. I wouldn't spoon as much hand here.
Right, okay.
There you go. That's great, yeah.
Lovely. So just stirring it up now.
Stirring it in, yeah.
I guess don't work it too hard.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And there's a real kind of in the kitchens, you know, to over-refine something that's basically very simple.
Yeah.
You know, the pomme à la crème, you know, wow. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, you don't taste potato.
Yeah.
It's really important.
So
You still taste that.
Big up the spring onions.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to have a little taste this now.
Yeah.
Definitely. Potatoes love salt, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you not agree?
Well, I was going to say, go easy there, you know?
Yeah, I just remember having jacket potato when I was a kid, and even when at the age of 5, I knew that little bit of salt on top was like, yes. Does that look like your mum would do?
Oh, I tell you.
Are you happy with that?
She'd be very proud, really. I mean, first of all, you're English. I mean, you know what I mean? You haven't messed it up. I'm very proud of you.
So So, shall I put a little knob of butter in there,
Oh,
Rich?
please, yeah.
And that's it, basically? Maybe a sprinkle of salt, or just...
I don't think it needs any more salt.
Okay. So, just on top like that?
Yeah, and just push it down there, yeah.
So you're going to get a nice little pull.
I'll take the pork out of the oven now.
Yeah, good. So I can just leave that there?
Yeah. So as you can see, the pork here is just...
It looks gorgeous.
Ah, it's lovely. With a beautiful piece of meat, the respect still continues to the next stage. We're going to give it a little rest before we continue on,
right,
okay?
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you how... I mean, there's a great British tradition of crackling.
Yeah.
Let's cheat a little bit and we'll make some really nice
crackling normally happens in roasting, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to cheat a little bit here. So let's move these. I'm going to take these off.
Oh, it smells lovely.
So this little piece we're looking at here,
Yeah. Oh, I see.
we're just going to run the knife really finely on the back of it.
Yeah. I can see what you're doing. So you're basically, instead of having to wait hours for a roasting of a crackling, you're going to sort of crackle.
It's going to be crackling a la minute, basically. And then we're just going to put that on there.
You're going to use that.
And then it goes into the oven.
That's very cool. So a little pan on top or something that's just to keep it
down. Otherwise, it's going to curl up.
So I suppose it will just stop it from crackling just on one side.
Okay. The next thing we're going to do basically is the accompaniment, the apricots.
Yeah. So I guess that, I mean, the apricots and pork have been worked for a long time.
Well, I think fruit and pork. Pork is such a fatty thing. It needs apples, apricots.
To cut through it, sort of
even pear. I mean, we're just going to kind of give it a quick saute. So, tiny little bit of... just give it a little bit more. So basically what we're going to do, we're just going to roll these in a little bit of heat, just to break it up, okay?
So, I mean, what are you looking for? You're looking for something that still holds its shape, but...
I'm still looking for a little bit of ripeness, which these are there, a little bit of ripeness, but a little bit of tart as well.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, not over.
Yeah.
So in it goes. We're going to take a little bit of sage as well.
I mean, I always think it's a shame when you take fruit out of a fridge, you know? It's always great when it's got had a bit of sun on it, you know,
Yeah.
so it just tastes a lot more.
It's just, you know, and just a little bit of vinegar there. And just the honey then just in the inch goes.
The Italians would like that because it's kind of like the agrodolce, you know, the sort of sweet and slightly
I mean, you know,
sweet and
really. I mean, this is just coming out really.
So you take it straight off the heat on.
And you don't need any more heat in there, really. But the most important thing now is get that sage in there.
Yeah. And you just let that sort of wilt with the heat of the pan.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting about this is, like, sometimes we cook things so much that flavours get kind of round and jammy.
Yeah, and I think for us professional chefs, I think it's very important that kind of we just deconstruct things, make things much more simpler.
Yeah.
Start, instead of talking about the chefy food on the plate, start talking about our great suppliers and treating those great suppliers with a lot of respect.
Yeah.
Really important word. It really is, and it's going to become more important as we're going to get older. So I'm going to remove that.
So my champ come.
Champ, I think that
You'd probably serve us with champ, wouldn't you, at home?
This dish with champ would be just awesome. I mean, really. Look at this. I mean,
you can see it's all kind of souffled up a bit.
We just turn it over.
So do you turn the heat up on the crackling now, or just...
No, I mean, it needs no more heat, really, I'll be honest with you.
I suppose when it gets cold, it goes crisp.
It's going to go crispness, yeah. OK, the meat is rested.
Yeah.
See that juice is just coming out there?
Yeah, and you save all those juices.
Yeah, we're going to save all those, yeah. I'm going to remove some of the fat.
So you're removing the fat, so it's had the benefit of cooking with the fat.
Yeah.
And then you take it off because you don't want...
well, you have to be a little health conscious.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm not.
Look at those colours, fantastic.
Yeah. So...
Put your crackling.
And I think on crackling, you definitely need...
Nice bit of salt.
Nice bit of salt.
Yeah, wicked.
OK.
Look at that.
OK.
Marvellous.
And...
the best bit. And the honey's great. I never thought about honey and pork. I've never done honey and pork. I mean, only on
kind of,
honey on hams.
Yeah, I think there's a Roman feel to that dish, really, somewhere.
Yeah.
And really, Jamie, I mean, we have to take your champ over here, don't we, really?
Yeah. Well, I want to finish off my dish, right?
Oh, you want to finish? Yeah.
And I want to do it as quickly as I can.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
I want to finish it off as quickly as possible so we can eat them together. Because, I mean, I suppose classically you'd serve that like that, wouldn't it? Yeah. Look at that, though. Oh, I mean, I've made champ. The Essex boy has done an authentic Irish dish. But
I mean, that is 10 out of 10. You've got it.
Good.
That's what it should...
And that little pool of butter that I guess you just stir in. at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so that together would be perfect combo, wouldn't it?
That is perfect.
Can
But I heard you want to add a little bit.
Well, again, like, what I was thinking, Rich, was that if I was going to try and take a good Irish champ and just take it on a few notches and make like what I'd do as a starter, maybe. Because I think like mashed potato and pork is a great main course. But what about celebrate the mashed potato and do it as a starter? Yeah. Are you up for seeing?
Go on, let me show what you're about. You know? I'm a bit worried, you know. Yeah. Let's carry on, you know.
Well, I'm a bit nervous. Yeah. So, what I've got? I've got some asparagus, yeah? And when I do the asparagus, I just click them off. And that woody bit, I'd use that, you know, I could like use that in a soup or something like that. Or just make a quick little sauce out of it or something like that. Put it in an omelette or something like that. But just for this purpose, I'm just going to click maybe a little handful of asparagus. And what I was going to do is just griddle it, because I'm thinking starters. In the, you know, springtime, summer, you get a starter order coming in the restaurant, you've got your asparagus prepped up, you just put that on a griddle like this. And I actually like, on a barbecue, asparagus, just dry, cooked dry, you know, instead of boiled or poached, which you very often get them. And then I'm thinking we've got the champ here, which is our kind of hero. That's the hero of the dish. So I don't want to kind of mess with it too much, but I've got a feeling I might offend you a few times in the next couple of minutes. But hopefully I offend you intelligently. Yeah, take that to my backside.
I think I'll hold this close here, you know.
So what I'm thinking watercress. Yeah. Because what I did do, when I was researching the champ, I did read a few recipes and it had chopped watercress into the...
It's a bit of a kind of a housewife's dinner party, you're talking food really, so, you know.
Okay. Now I feel slightly insecure. Housewife's dinner party, okay. I'm going to take those stalks off and I was just going to sort of roughly chop some of that like that.
Yeah.
And basically I was going to put that in with the champ, and also I've got some celery leaves. Let me just push that to the side.
Now, Jim, that doesn't say no to me.
It doesn't,
because there's a pepperiness there. There's a, you know, there's a bit of still integrity going on.
So you think that's not too bad?
I would say you haven't annoyed me.
Okay, I haven't annoyed you yet. And then I've got, I don't know about you, Rich, right? I got this from the market, right?
That's fantastic.
Beautiful bit of celery. And I always feel, and tell me if you think differently, I always feel that celery is completely underrated.
Totally.
And certainly with my chefs, it's completely misunderstood. Like,
and
for instance, I think of the celery as 3 different vegetables.
Yeah.
I go click, click, click. I've got the outside stalks. I don't like these leaves because they're bitter.
Yeah.
And I would never put that in my stock, right? I take the outside leaves, and that would I use in a base for risotto, I use that in a base for stews, soups, you name it. There's so many things you can do with that. And then you come to this part here, which is like, you've got the leaves, which are like a fantastic herb.
Yeah.
These, I mean, try those yellow leaves, I'm sure you've tasted them before, but they're light, they're fragrant, they're really zippy. So I'm thinking I'm going to get some of these leaves, right, and I'm just going to lightly chop them, and I'm going to put them in here.
You know, I'm going to forgive you.
Housewives?
I mean, it's a bit dinner party-ish, you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you, but you know what I mean? It's you know, carry on.
And over here, right, I'm just turning this asparagus, and literally, it's just charred on one side. And I like, if you do this in the barbecue, it tastes even better, but actually getting that bit of char...
This looks good.
The charriness is, gives it that flavour that you don't usually associate with, like, asparagus, I think. Then, what I do is I'm thinking salad now.
Yeah.
I'm going to hack these up big and chunky. I'm just going to shave. A lot of people waste the base of the celery. I'm just literally going to shave it, and then I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to finely slice it as if it was like a bulb of fennel or something like wonderfully sort of exciting. And I think because it's the heart, it is exciting. And even that root, you know, it's got great flavour.
You're a clever bunny, that's good.
And then I'm going to put these leaves in as well. And these asparagus will be done by now. Hot. And straight in there. While it's hot, lemon. Now, I know lemons aren't particularly Irish, but I'm going to take it to the Mediterranean now. So we've got Ireland, Mediterranean.
We're coming from Northern European down into the
But you know what the Irish are like? They've bred all over the place.
I know, we're everywhere, huh?
So we've got lemon juice in there, right, a little pinch of pepper, a little bit of salt, right, and a little bit of good oil. And I know oil's not very Irish either, but I'm thinking Italy, Sardinia, Sicily now, right? Summer's day.
I would say the word is the Latin temperament of the Irish and the Italians here. There's a little bit coming through in both of us, huh?
Yeah.
Can I try with this?
Yeah, please do, mate. And I'm going to stir this chunk because really,
you know, Jamie, I've never grilled anything in my life, but I might start.
Yeah,
I might start. Yeah.
Does that mean I've got to buy you a char grill?
Oh, I tell you something. This is very good.
So I'm literally, do you know what? The idea for me is that I put the watercress and then the celery leaves right at the end, so they just wilt. Yeah? And I think very often people think of like potatoes as like the accompaniment, but actually it's quite nice sometimes to have it as the hero, you know?
So let's
have a go. Let's see if I can win you over. So here we go. Little bit of the potato, just a little.
You know, Jamie Oliver, I never thought I'd say it, but you know, it's good.
You like the asparagus?
I like the asparagus. I like the addition to the champ. So you know,
maybe I've got a future in the kitchen.
I think you're more than a future.
Asparagus on top, right? And I got a nice little bit of lemon that I hope will work with the potato quite nicely. And I've got, going even more Italian, I've got some prosciutto here, which I've got some nice stuff from the deli, nice and thinly sliced with real care. So I'm just going to peel this off like a nice slice and literally put that fresh on top of the asparagus, a little bit of the watercress, and maybe a little pinch of pepper, a few celery leaves, and a little bit of olive oil, and hopefully I haven't spoilt the Irish name.
No, that's impressive, frankly, you know, really.
Thank you, mate. I've learned a lot.
Jamie, well done.
And I will sleep well tonight. Whew. Let's swap
I really want to get in here first.
Into the champ. Oh, yeah.
It is very good, huh? Really.
And this pork, it's not dry.
No.
And it's quite tender. Unbelievable.
Let's try the...
little bit of juice.
This is the crackling end of it, you know, just
the honey and the fruit and the meat is heaven.
I'm sure there's some Irish in you.
Are you sure?
I'm positive, you know, really.
I best ask the man.